What's up, guys? Just want to go ahead and welcome you to the fifth episode of the Manky Boot. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube page. All that information will be in the description below. We decided to take our week off because we had some international friendlies, and the football gods were kind enough to kick us back off this weekend. So we're back with Romey and AK. How you feeling today, AK?
To be fair, I'm buzzing to be back because the international break is fucking dreadful. I absolutely hate it.
I always thought that in the back of my mind as well, but it was one of the thoughts I like to bury my thoughts. It's kind of unpatriotic to a degree.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent it is, but that's the general view here in the UK, that the international break's just a fucking waste of time. Like, nobody likes it at all.
So pretty much it's only for like Euros and World Cup over there as well that you guys get excited about?
Just for major tournaments. Or, okay. I mean, fair enough if it's like a European qualifier and it's like, I don't know, England versus France or something. People get hyped for that. But if England are playing, who did we play? We played Bulgaria,
Romania, I think.
Bulgaria, Romania, something like that.
Yeah.
And Kosovo. Like, I mean, fair enough. The Kosovo game was decent. I saw the highlights. England won 5-3, but yeah, I can't be asked for wasting my time with that. To be fair, I was drunk most of this week.
Lucky you.
To be fair, I graduated, pal. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, that's a big deal. Congrats to AK, guys. That's a big deal. You got to celebrate that.
Right. So, yeah, let's get back into the football.
So, chopping up about the Big Six?
Yeah, as per. I'm glad to be back, not gonna lie.
I know, I'm excited. I'm excited, too.
I'm pumped. Right, first game, what was it? Liverpool, Newcastle at Anfield.
Man, oh man.
What did you think?
So that first goal, I know many people are probably going to point at Trent Alexander-Arnold for that goal. But to be fair, if a defender is charging at you and he switches the ball to his right foot and then curls it around you and the goal into the far corner, I think most defenders live with that shot any day, especially coming from a defensive player. Jetro Williams, or whatever his name was.
Jetro Willems, yeah.
So I thought the backline in general didn't look. They looked a little uncomfortable, and that's one of the things I don't like about the international breaks. Like, Van Dijk went out, Trent went away as well. I think Matip was probably the only one that stayed because Andy Robertson got a rapping ass whooping for Scotland this past week.
Yeah.
But I think most times with Liverpool that they kind of play to the level of the competition. So it's kind of hard to get motivated for a Newcastle team, even though they just beat Spurs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But, all in all, I thought they made us nervous, scoring early on, but a better team fights on, and they got a good result with 3 pretty good goals. One mistake by the other goalie, but nonetheless, I mean, the result was what you expected.
You mentioned Trent there, and you said he's not at fault for the goal. I mean, fair enough. Every fullback gets beat on occasion. But what I've noticed this season in particular, and it started in the Community Shield against Man City, a lot of teams are targeting Trent aerially from the long balls or from goal kicks. A lot of them try to aim towards his flank, either to get in behind him or to try and beat him in the air with a jump. Firstly, at Man City, that happened in the Community Shield. Secondly, Norwich tried to do that in the first game that against you lot. And now this weekend against Newcastle, I realised that Joelinton, who's a big lad, he was peeling off towards Trent quite a lot. And I feel like that could be a weakness that teams could exploit in the future. And I don't think Trent has looked very assured aerially.
This is my response, in all honesty. Most teams target Trent on that side because Trent is the one that's always furthest forward. Even though he and Andy Robertson take turns driving forward, but I'd say probably about 75% of the time is Trent on that right wing. So you might get lucky every now and then with a long ball and him having to catch back up, which is why we have the 3 hard-working midfielders that are supposed to be covering that right side of the forward when you see him drive back up. So now, a lot of times I see our backline do. they'll have both of them drive up forward at the same time, which doesn't make sense to me. I mean, both of them have similar skills, so I'd imagine they should be taking turns. That way, the defense is not that exposed, and overworking the midfield through when they could be pressing and recovering that ball in the middle of the field. So that's a concern that I've always had, and I don't think it's something to do with him individually. I think it's probably a miscommunication from the manager, and then a miscommunication from the back line during the actual 90 minutes. So it's not like I see him, driving and sliding in recklessly, missing tackles. A defender goes around the missed tackle and then gets a clean shot at goal. You know what I mean? It's a completely different scenario. So, I mean, it's going to be a pause of concern for me until I see them be more consistent in the back.
Well, so, what I do like about your fullbacks is that they offer different threats down their respective flanks. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only seen 4 or 5 Liverpool games this season. But
you're good.
Shut up. But I feel that Andy Robertson, more often than not, makes those overlapping runs.
Yep.
Whereas Trent sort of tucks in and gets the ball on sort of the corner of the box and then whips it in instead of running around and running past Mo Salah.
Right. Right? I see that at times. I see a lot more of that.
So I feel like, I mean, that asymmetrical style of attack, I do really like that, to be honest. And I think that highlights each of your fullbacks' strength, because Trent, honestly, is one of the best crossers of the ball I've seen for a long time. And Andy Robertson, I feel like, has a lot more energy than Trent, so he's able to make those overlapping runs.
Exactly.
So I mean, I don't know what my point is, but I just really I like that.
You're good. And I think another thing about Andy, like, if you notice, a lot of times he will get back, he'll recover back faster than Trent will because of that stamina and that energy he has. I mean, as you know, that guy runs. At times you watch him, he's running 90 miles an hour all over the field. Andy Robertson, that is.
I feel like Robertson's more of like a bull in a china shop type of player, whereas Trent's more of a similar to Van Dijk, more of a Rolls Royce guy. Takes it easy, always has time on the ball, never panics. And
I know what you mean.
Seems to always make that right pass. But I did mention it in the summer as well. I do feel Trent can be suspect defensively.
I don't know, because I can't say for certain, because to what I said earlier, I don't see him swinging wild and missing tackles. I don't see him picking up yellow cards. I don't see him picking up red cards. I don't see any real major mistakes that he makes, apart from a team taking advantage of when he drives forward and we miss that second ball when we try to get the crosses. So his right area is always going to be open. It's 7-11.
But you say that Andy Robertson, he makes those overlapping runs, as I said, so he's caught further up the pitch. More often than not, he's further along and he gets to the byline, whereas Trent doesn't really do that. So why is it that Robertson very rarely gets caught out of position when the opposition are countering? And why does it seem to be Trent that gets caught out of position when he doesn't go as far forward as Robertson?
All right, who's the defender closest to Trent?
Matip, I think.
All right, and who's the defender? That means who's the closest defender next to Robertson? Van Dijk.
Well, out-and-out defender, yes, but the closest defensive player to Robertson seems to be Fabinho.
Well, no, I mean, I'm talking about the back line. So a lot of times.
But that's the thing. It doesn't work like that, because a lot of the times your midfield is your first defence. They're the ones that sweep up.
Well, Firmino is our first defence, technically.
No, when a play breaks down, Firmino's in the box, right? The defenders clear it, and it's your midfield that is the first form of. They, more often than not, they're the ones that get the ball back, and keep hold of possession and make sure that the opposition doesn't counter. And it seems like Fabinho, is more towards that left side and is more defensively stable when Robertson loses the ball, for example. Whereas your right-sided centre mid, I think in that game was Ox, and he's not as good defensively as Fabinho.
Exactly.
So that could be an explanation.
That was the explanation. That was the exact reason. Because as I said earlier, the very first point I made would depend on most times hard-working midfielders. We've been trying to slowly incorporate Oxlade-Chamberlain and get him back up to game speed, because prior to his injury, he was a very useful player for us, I must say. You know, whereas our typical lineup is some combination of Gini, Fabinho, Henderson, or Milner, right? And
did Gini play the other day?
You're right. So Fabinho, right? As you said, you point to his defensive covering. At Monaco, at times you'd see him line up at right back. Last year, at times when we were desperate, this guy played centre back for us. He wasn't too bad at it, right? And in this case, we had Oxlade-Chamberlain, who was trying to make a name for himself. You saw some of the shots he was taking. You saw Oxlade-Chamberlain further upfield. Now we'd like him to be in our system at times, and which is what in the Newcastle game left that long ball, that opportunity exposed.
Well, you say that, but Henderson, I've seen more in recent months. He's been given the license to go forward a lot more, because he used to play that sitting role. Because when Fabinho first came in, he didn't start every game, did he? It took him about half a season to get incorporated into the team. Right. And Henderson used to play that defensive midfield role.
Right.
And he would sweep up. But ever since Fabinho came in, Henderson's moved to the right centre midfield, and he's been given the license to go forward, just like Ox did. But the difference is
he tracks back. Henderson will get back.
Yeah.
And same even when Milner's on the field, he might not go as far up to make a play, but he will work his butt off to get back. So that was a whole different dynamic, as you saw there on Sunday. And again, a defensive player taking a shot from the corner of the box, outside. Curling around a defender and a goalkeeper to the top corner. I will live with that shot as a defender every day. I will give it to you 10 times to take it on me, and that will be the one time that you will make it.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out the fact that Trent has been caught, or is seemingly, the weaker of the two fullbacks defensively.
Well, you can't say it that way, because to your point, if you're highlighting Fabinho being able to cover for Robertson, and you're wondering who is covering for Trent Alexander-Arnold in those long balls and him being caught out. It's not him. It's not necessarily him that being caught out is the problem. It's communication when he's out of position in the back and in the middle is the problem, which is what leaves those gaping holes. We'll play how we play all the time. If he was a consistent problem, how many goals scored us last year? Less than 20, right?
No idea.
Yeah, about less than 20. So we'll be conceding many more goals that way. Every now and then a team will catch you asleep. It happened really early in the game. I don't think the team was awoke. Naturally, I don't think they were excited to play Newcastle. They started Divock Origi, first of all, right? And they started Oxlade-Chamberlain. So clearly that tells you, look, I have a Napoli game for Champions League this week, and I have Chelsea to go to for Stamford Bridge Sunday. I'm trying to rest my Bobby and my midfield players for those more important games I have. That's really what that told me.
You mentioned Bobby. How good is he? Because it's insane. I think
I love that man. He's the most skillful player on the field, like just skill wise.
I think he's the most important player.
Just like earlier I said to you, technically, our defense start from Bobby, because when the ball is lost in the final third, the first person you see tracking back to try to recover the ball, Bobby. And then once he can't make it, that's when the midfielders dive in and try to get it back.
Very rarely does a substitute come on and get man of the match.
So he's our creator technically, He's our additional midfield player when we need him to be. He's our defensive player when we need him to be.
Jurgen Klopp said that in some games, Mo Salah's world class. In some games, Mane's world class. But in every game, Firmino is. So
And I agree with that statement 1000%.
He's that little fulcrum, isn't he? He lets other people play.
He does. He's so unselfish. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's a great character to have, especially when you're playing with two guys that want to score in Mane and Salah right in front of you.
Yeah.
He's what makes the three work. It's him.
Mm-hmm.
It's him. I think we could put you in our front three, and you might get a goal or two a season, AK. But
fam, I wouldn't even be able to last 2 minutes on that pitch. I'd run for 30 seconds and I'll be flat out on my feet.
But no, I mean, I think it was a good result. You know, I think it was the right team he put out there, especially with what we have coming up this week with Napoli and Chelsea back to back. I love when we have these big games. I really get excited for them. I don't care if it was Barcelona and Real Madrid, even though it's not possible for us. But I love when we play these big teams. So it'll be interesting.
You're the only team that I think you and Inter Milan are the only team in Europe's top 5 leagues who have won every single game in the league. So
yeah, I don't know. 6 points would be nice between the Napoli and the Chelsea game, but I think it's going to be more like 4. Especially with City losing yesterday as well. It gives us a license to settle for a point at Stamford Bridge.
Well, a lot of fans are saying that you've won the league already.
They're idiots. They're absolute idiots. I mean, what's that? Game 5 of 38?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
I mean, weren't you 5 points ahead last season as well at some point?
We're 8 in December, and we lost to Man City, and that's what brought it to 5.
Yeah. So but last season, Man City didn't have an injury to their best defender, Aymeric Laporte.
And they had their best leader too in Vincent Kompany.
Yeah. Gary Neville said it on commentary about a week ago, I think. Vincent Kompany won them that title.
I swore in the first episode I told you Vincent Kompany is the reason why they're not gonna do the 3-peat.
Well, he said that not just because of the goal against Leicester, but his leadership and his in the dressing room. It just kept, because Liverpool were hot on City's tails for that whole season, and his mentality and his calmness just made everyone else, just not panic, because a lot of people would crumble under the pressure that Liverpool put on Man City, but his leadership in the dressing room was, you can't put a price tag on that.
You know what? All Gary Neville had to say was, I listened to the Manky Boot episode 1, and I agree with what Romain said about Vincent Kompany. That's all he had to say. But he won't have to dress it up because he was Gary Neville. But who played next? Who was it?
United played Leicester at Old Trafford.
You want to talk to your boys about your team?
To be honest, I don't know what to say. I think both teams were pretty poor, and United just managed to get the win. It's one of them ones where it was our worst performance in 5 games. Yeah, we got the 3 points, and that's football, and that's why in previous results when we played well and we didn't get the points against Crystal Palace and Southampton, and arguably against Wolves as well, we were the better team in those 3 games. Yeah, we didn't get the 3 points. So it's just one of them where a lot of United fans are starting to panic and asking for Solskjaer to be sacked, blah, blah, blah.
What?
But a lot of them are asking for him to be sacked, bro.
Really?
Yeah, mate, you get idiots on Twitter, man.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So,
sorry.
Let me put it this way. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, substitute teacher, right? In your own words, he's a substitute teacher. Brendan Rodgers is a more experienced manager than him. Leicester's whole midfield is better than ours. Leicester's left back is better than ours. David De Gea is out of form. Everyone says Rashford is shit and Jamie Vardy is better than him. What happened yesterday then?
Can I be honest with you?
Go for it.
I thought that was a soft ass penalty. Like it's crazy. I've never seen a team get so many penalties in the first 4 games, or 5 games. This is unbelievable.
I mean, every penalty is checked by VAR.
I know, but in order for it to be overruled, they'd have to determine that there was some major error that that the referee made to give the penalty.
That's what I don't like about VAR, because
right. So it's not there.
Yeah, VAR is a tool that is used to help referees.
That's it.
At the moment, it's being used to back up the referee's decisions. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It's not being used effectively. And, for example, you could point to Martial versus Crystal Palace when he, I can't remember which defender it was. He tugged on his arm, pulled him to the ground, but Martial still ended up getting a shot away. That's a foul. That's a penalty.
But no ref is gonna call that though if he gets a shot off. If he goes down and doesn't get the shot off, he's going to get the foul, because they're gonna say the context what caused him to not be able to get the shot off.
Well, he was on the floor and he shot. So I disagree with the way VAR is being used. I mean, the FA came out last week and they said that there were 4 decisions where VAR got categorically wrong. I feel that there was definitely more than 4 decisions, because when Chelsea played, I think it might have been Norwich, one of the defenders kicked Azpilicueta's shin. Didn't get the ball and kicked Azpi's shin. That should have been a penalty, yet Chelsea weren't awarded one. So there are definitely more than the 4 that the FA have released, but I think it's the first year that VAR is being implemented, so I think hopefully it will get better next season, but you never know. Did you watch that United game?
No, I didn't. I was coaching.
Ah, fair.
But from what I saw, I mean, it didn't surprise me, the result, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it was a shit game. It was a very shit game.
You're at home.
David De Gea didn't really have that much to do. Neither did Schmeichel. What I will say is Lindelof still looks shaky in the air. Definitely. But, I always said that good performances will inevitably bring good results. As long as we try and play the right way and try and be on the front foot, we'll be fine. And, maybe a draw would have been a fair result yesterday. But then again, we didn't deserve to lose against Crystal Palace or draw against Southampton. So it balances out, I suppose, but we just have to move on and look at West Ham next weekend.
You have West Ham? That's what I'm going to ask. You have West Ham next weekend?
I think we do have West Ham, yeah.
Probably on the road then, huh?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. That could be a tricky one. Could be.
Well, I don't even know West Ham season, like what they're on, but I haven't seen a West Ham game this season, so I can't really tell.
I mean, it's besides that battering they took from Manchester City, they've been pretty consistent, That's their only issue.
Well, they beat Norwich last week, and they're playing tomorrow.
They play tomorrow, yeah. So they could make some noise. They go to Aston Villa next tomorrow. So
yeah, that'll be a decent game. But we mentioned who did we mention? We mentioned Chelsea just then a little bit. I think Chelsea Wolves 5-2 away from home at the Molineux. What do you think?
You want the honest truth?
I want the truth and nothing but the truth.
Chelsea fans are going to be so mad at me. I felt everything went right for Chelsea because all the goals that they scored were so difficult. Like the degree of difficulty. The first one, Tamari, right? That distance shot from 34 yards out. What this was his first game starting, right?
Yeah, he came in for Zuma, I think.
Yeah, first game starting. This guy rifles a 34-yard shot. Rui Patricia just happened to be slightly out of position. It went in the net. I mean, they'll take it, right?
Yeah.
Then that goal that Tammy Abraham. I mean, I don't mean to take it away from him. That guy is on fire right now. Like Tammy Abraham, he might have the hottest laces in the Premier League today.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know which of the goals you're talking about, but is this the one where Mason Mount was fouled?
Yes.
Yeah.
It just happened to fall right there, and he just had to pretty much poke it in because Mason Mount didn't pass it to him for a nice little tap or nothing like that. There was some contact there. The ball bubbled around, got him, poked it in.
Yeah.
I thought that one where he turned as well and his whole body slanting the opposite way, with him lacking the balance to strike it cleanly. I thought he was very fortunate that went to the net as well.
Well, his third goal was quality though.
So, Chelsea, I mean, good result for them. They'll take it. They need a convincing win like this in their life. They really did.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't ride this win home and get too excited about it. Still plenty of area of opportunity for Chelsea.
Well, you say that. Spurs, Man United, Leicester, Chelsea, and Arsenal all have 8 points, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Well, Arsenal 7. Well, no, 8. My bad. It hasn't updated yet. You're right. Good.
So it is very tight. Obviously, the top two are. City's not really running away with it, but you can tell that the last year's top two will be this year's top two because they're just far superior.
I didn't want it to be this way, but first 5 games and it looks that way.
Yeah.
But a lot can happen. We haven't even gotten to the major injuries for most of these teams yet in the middle of the season.
Yeah, well, Chelsea don't have Kante at the moment. United don't have Martial
or Pogba.
Well, United had quite a fair few injuries yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea don't have. Who was it? Kante. Rudiger came back yesterday, and Chelsea went to a back 5 yesterday. What do you think about that?
And we forgot Emerson got hurt too for Brazil.
Yeah.
He got hurt.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Chelsea? About Lampard adapting his formation from a back 4 to a back 5?
I like the change based on the personnel he has that came in because as you saw, I think yesterday was Willian's first game starting as well. He put Pulisic on the bench. Rudiger was available, so as Piliqueta, he had him playing right back in the past, so he pushed him up forward a little bit as kind of like a wing back. I liked it. I liked that idea for that particular game. I really did like it. I must say, it worked out.
Do you think he just did that because he knows Marcos Alonso is tragic in a back 4?
In the back of my mind, I would like to think that he did that to set him up for success. Because in a way, like based on the personnel out there, technically it could be a back 4, and you push Alonso forward a little bit more to add some creativity. When he's sliding them over. So I don't think he was giving Alonso that much defensive responsibility.
Well, here's a little catch-22 with managers. In your opinion, do you think a manager should alter his tactics based on the players he has, or the players should try and adapt to the manager's tactics?
I think very good managers adapt to his. It's 50-50. It's a balancing act. That way you can get the best out of the players and the best out of your system. You don't want to just completely abandon your system because you want an identity. And at the same time, you don't want to take away or put players into positions where that you don't set them up for success. So I think good managers do a balance of both. It's a constant juggling act.
Well, I always go back to Chelsea's last league win under Antonio Conte. They were struggling, and I remember them losing to Arsenal 3-1, I think, and they got played off the park. And up until then, I think it was roughly October, November maybe, Chelsea were playing a back four under Conte. Then he switched it to a back five. And then they went on a mad, I think it was a 21-game unbeaten run in the league, and they ended up winning the league. So I think good managers always have a base and a style on how they want to play, but tactically they can adapt to a back three or a back four or a back five. But their principles and their style should always be the same. Because if you're a manager who likes to press on the front foot and play attacking football, I think you should be able to do it with a back 3, 4 or 5, regardless of... Obviously, the players that you have will help implement that style better, those tactics better. But I think you should always have principles and then be able to adapt the tactics based on those principles.
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much agree there. That's what I try to do when I coach my U14s. Oh, goodness.
Anyone doesn't know, Romey coaches, what is it, under 8?
14.
Under 14?
Yeah.
Under 14's youth football. So he's going to be the new manager of Liverpool in 15 years' time.
We wish. You and I both wish.
I wish too as well, because you'll take him into the Championship, pal.
That was a good one. How much time are we going to waste on Spurs and Crystal Palace? I know it's a London derby and all, but the domination.
Well, Mauricio Pochettino said that now that the transfer window's over, his previously unsettled squad has become a lot more harmonious. So whether that means Spurs will now kick on and potentially challenge, because a lot of people after the window had closed, in terms of bringing players in. I think what date was that? That was the 8th of August, wasn't it?
Yep, middle of August.
Yeah. So after that transfer deadline day, everyone was like, "Yeah, Spurs. They've made good business this summer. They've got Lo Celso from Real Betis. They've got Ndombele from Lyon. They've kept hold of Eriksen and their best players. Alderweireld is still here. Spurs are in a good position to challenge now." And then I have no idea where from. Just everything seemed to unravel for them. But now that the window's closed, they know that they're going to keep hold of Vertonghen, Alderweireld and Eriksen.
Mm-hmm.
They can all just push together in the same direction and just see where that can take them, to be honest. But 4-0 win at home to Crystal Palace. I mean, why couldn't United do that, man?
You got a substitute teacher, that's why. I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Spurs rocked up. They bitch-slapped them in the first half, and then they took it easy in the second. So it was just an accomplished performance by Spurs. Heung-min Son is a fantastic player.
I love that guy.
I think Son's on the same level as the likes of Firmino and Lacazette, not in terms of quality, but in terms of his importance to the team. If you think Spurs, the main star player, Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen, Spurs is that workhorse in the attack. Lacazette, with Arsenal, when you think of their star player, it's Aubameyang, whereas Lacazette's arguably the most important because he links it all together. Same with Liverpool, Firmino links everything together. So I think Heung-min Son is incredibly important for Spurs. And he always seems to step up to the plate when his team needs it most. So
I agree with you, and that's why I always think it's criminal when Pochettino just doesn't start him consistently.
Yeah. I mean, he came to the fore last season when
Kane went down.
when
He
Kane
went on that run. It was like 10 out of something, 10 goals in like a really short amount of time. He caught fire there.
Yeah, him and Moura really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, but nowadays he's forcing Eric Lamela and Harry Kane when him and Song and Lucas Moura is right there.
Yeah, well, I really like Spurs, to be honest. Like, as I said, I think in the fullback areas they're susceptible because Poch doesn't trust Aurier, and he wants to get rid of Rose as well. Very publicly, he wanted to get rid of him. He didn't allow him to go on pre-season tour. So I don't think Spurs will be good enough to challenge for the title, but I think they should comfortably get top 4.
If in a different dimension where you have a different Premier League team, do you think you're a Spurs fan?
No.
What
a fucking stupid question.
That's why I said a different dimension.
No.
Oh shit.
Oh.
So both of our favorite team got upset yesterday as well, huh? Manchester City.
Oh god, I don't even know how. I don't even know where to start with that. With that result.
They both had chances. It really could have went either way. It looked like a thrilling contest. It looked like a fun game. All in all.
What I noticed is that City didn't play how they usually do. And I know it's easy to say that because they didn't win and they didn't create as many chances, but they seem to be crossing the ball as if they've got fucking prime fucking Peter Crouch. Like that's not how they play football. They get their inside, they get their David Silva and Gundogan or De Bruyne or whoever's playing that position to make
either one of those two.
To make those underlapping runs. The wingers pass it to them and they cut it back to the 6-yard box for easy tap-ins for Aguero and Sterling. That is a typical Manchester City goal. But for some reason, they thought Aguero was 7 foot tall.
He did score a header though to his defense.
Yeah, I mean he should have scored. Was it 3 headers potentially?
Yeah, I saw that. Sterling could have had one too. Hit the crossbar.
He hit the crossbar, exactly.
Crazy.
But it's weird that even though they're not playing the way Pep has coached them to, or they didn't play in that particular 90 minutes the way Pep has coached them, they could have still easily won 5-3 or 4-3. I think it was just one of those games for City, and I don't think people should look too much into it. They're one of the best teams in Europe. These types of results, they can happen. So yesterday there was this guy who was calling for Pep's head, and
I heard that thing was so funny. What an idiot!
He was like, under Pep, Man City are regressing, not progressing. I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Honestly, shut the fuck up.
He expects 100 points every year.
I mean, he nearly got that.
You nearly got it, right? It's kind of like a shit. In the same way, I think everything just went right for Chelsea. I just think so many things just went wrong for Man City, and the football guys just said, not today.
Well, I think so many people have extremist views. Either a team is unbelievably shit and they need to get rid of the manager, or the team and these players are one of the best in the world. Like, it can't work, but it can't switch from one end of the spectrum to the other in a matter of days.
Right.
I think everyone always has these extremist views, and everyone just needs to calm the fuck down. Like, bad results happen. Fine. Get on with it.
Amen, AK. A motherfucking man.
Like, this is prominent with Man United more than anything else.
I was waiting for it.
Okay, no. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know what happened with France over the last couple of weeks on the international break
What happened? What did I miss?
with Antoine Griezmann?
No, I did not know. What happened to him?
Exactly. That is my fucking point. Antoine Griezmann missed 2 penalties in 2 games.
No.
And no one knows no one knows because the media aren't fucking writing this on the front pages. Whereas Pogba misses 1 penalty and Rashford misses 1 penalty. And everything's fucking doom and gloom.
All hell breaks loose, huh?
Exactly. It's just certain teams, certain players create news. And it I hate mainstream media. Like,
All right, let's be honest. To your point, let's be honest. I mean, I don't think Antoine Griezmann is the same kind of as a superstar, just like image and all that fun stuff as Pogba is. I think most people in the United States know who Paul Pogba is compared to Antoine Griezmann.
he's more well known than Rashford, and
Yeah,
yet
well
all
known.
hell broke loose when he missed a penalty.
So Pogba himself he's a polarizing figure. You either love him or you hate him. You know, there's no in between with people.
Well, you can never win because remember last season and in previous years that little run up he did where he'd take like 50 steps and then
I liked it.
everyone was slagging him off and saying, "Oh, he shouldn't do that run up because he misses penalties." Against Wolves, a normal run up, a normal shot on target. He tried to get it into the corner, and the keeper ended up saving it. Fair enough, it happens.
But what he does
Aguero missed a penalty against Spurs last season in the Champions League that contributed to them getting knocked out. Shit happens.
You know what's so tricky about his run up though? To give him credit.
What, Pogba?
His run up. Like sometimes he'll take like a million steps and then shoot it, and sometimes he'll make it seem like he's about to take a million steps, and out of nowhere it's 2 giant steps and blast. See, you just didn't know what's coming. But I thought
people criticizing him for that run up, saying he will score more penalties if he doesn't do the run up. He's not done it, and he still missed a penalty, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You didn't even know about the Griezmann thing. The same player missed 2 penalties in 2 games, and no one bats an eyelid.
And can I be honest with you? I'm one of those guys that thinks Antoine Griezmann is overrated. So him missing 2 penalties doesn't surprise me, or him just not showing up doesn't surprise me. And I'm in the minority in that regard. I get it.
So that's what I'm saying. I think with certain teams, things are exaggerated, and with Man City yesterday, I think that people should just, write this off as a shock result. Very rarely do Man City, lose. I think everything will be fine for them.
Yeah, I think each season Pep's been in charge, or the 2 times he won it, they lost like 4 games or less. Something crazy like that.
Yeah. So I mean, fair play to Norwich.
Yeah.
Fair play to Norwich because I can't remember what my predicted Premier League table was. I'll probably need to go back and watch the first episode, but I think I had them being safe, but I think they're exceeding my expectations as well.
I didn't have them being safe, so if they're safe, I'll give them a round of applause.
I can't even remember who I got going down. I think it might have been Brighton. Oh God, I have no idea who I had going down. It might have been Norwich, but they've impressed me, and fair play to them.
Yeah, they play really good looking football.
Yeah, they're
Flick
brave.
football, as they call it.
Sorry?
Flick football.
Yeah, they play slick football. Yeah,
I like it.
Now, going on to today's game.
Arsenal beat Arsenal, huh?
Oh, where shall we even start with this?
They get out, 2 great goals, 2 zip up, and then out of nowhere, Socrates just makes a boneheaded mistake.
I mean, you can't say that Watford didn't deserve it. I
They
watched that game.
deserved it. They deserved a couple points. They did.
Watford deserved at least a point. I think they
Yeah.
were comfortably the better team throughout the 90 minutes, and they deserved it. It was typical Arsenal, and I'm not trying to say that,
No, it's real.
and say just because I'm a United fan or I don't like Arsenal, but that is just a typical Arsenal performance. When things get tough, when the home team puts the pressure on, starts to get physical, Arsenal crumble away from home, and it's unexplainable. No, unexplainable, inexplicable. That's the word I'm looking
There you
for.
go.
Inexplicable. And I don't understand why, because at home they're one of the best teams in the league. I think last season they were the third best team. That they had the third best home form in the league. Yet, I think they were in the bottom half for their away form. They got 1 win away from home all of last season.
At home, they can look like a top 3 team, and on the road, you see a mid-table side.
Actually, that's lie. It wasn't 1 win away from home. It was 1 clean sheet away from home all of last season.
Jeez, that's still not good.
No, that is still that's tragic.
Yeah.
Right, but before we started this podcast, me and Romey were talking about Unai Emery. What's your thoughts on him?
All right, 14 months. I personally, I have respect for him. I think he did a very good job in Sevilla. Like, he won 2 Europa League titles. Was there
No,
2 or 3
I
in a
think he
row?
won 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row. And then he had the opportunity of going to Paris Saint-Germain, won a French title, but then got embarrassed in the Champions League. I know the ownership group over there is desperate for Champions League, so they're just sacking managers until they can find somebody to win them a Champions League. And he was thrown into this Arsenal job where he's supposed to rebuild this project, this whole Arsene Wenger era, and try to make Arsenal one of the contenders again. So far, I think 14 months. I think he's doing an okay job. I don't think he needs to be fired. He has a lot of area of opportunity in his tactics from time to time. I just hope to see that by year 3, you see him take another step with the club.
Okay, you say Tell me how Arsenal are better now than under Wenger.
Right now, I
How?
didn't. No. I didn't say they were better. No, I said he's tasked building this team and trying to get them through the post Wenger era. I didn't think it was better.
Let me rephrase the question. Sorry. How has he improved Arsenal in the last 14 months?
The only highlight you can say is he got him to a Europa League final. But I mean, at the same time, the players still have the same issues, especially last season. Indiscipline defensively,
Okay.
not consistent enough on the road.
You mentioned he got to a Europa League final. Who did he play in up until that final? Did he play any tough teams?
Not that I can remember. But then again, I don't really watch Europa League like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wenger got them to the semi-finals, and they were knocked out by Atletico Madrid, who they're a fantastic team. So how has Unai Emery improved Arsenal?
Right now, it's tough to say. I mean, if you're looking at the body of work, 14 months versus how long was Arsene Wenger there? A decade?
Oh, he was there for about 20 years.
20 years. I mean, it's not a fair enough comparison right now. But I think he kind of needs to get some of the Arsene Wenger players on and slowly bringing some of his players, and he's trying to do that. As you can see, then I think he signed off on Nicolas Pepe, the Sabelos loan signing, all to beat 1 year. But some of those deadwood players need to go as well. He need to bring in some more competent pieces that can actually play his system the right way. And that's why I was hoping that by next season, his third season, he gets another transfer window under his belt. We'll see if he can clean house a little bit and bring in some more players and I hope to see him take a step. I mean, I can't really pass judgment on him now. I don't think he deserves to be sacked. At the same time, I can't say, oh, give him a 5-year extension. You know what I mean? There's just not enough evidence to go either way. Yeah, you need to see what kind of happens at the end of this season, and then I said give him at least 6 more months after this season.
One of the main reasons Arsenal fans wanted Wenger out is because they thought he'd lost his touch, not in an attacking sense, but they thought that he was too old, he was too kind, he wasn't tough on his players, and he didn't emit that sense of ownership, and he didn't, and that grit and that togetherness. And a lot of people thought Wenger had gone weak and Arsenal had a soft underbelly. And that was one of the main reasons why Arsenal fans wanted him out. And they thought Unai Emery would do that because he's young, he's hungry, he'll kick Arsenal players up the arse, get them playing, essentially turn them from bottle jobs into players who can grind out results.
Right.
That was one of the main reasons why I think Arsenal fans wanted Wenger out. And Emery's just not done that at all.
It's only been 14 months though, man. 14. He still has some of the Arsene Wenger players in there. Can we give him a whole new roster and then pass judgment?
I mean, hey, I told you before we started recording this that I think Emery, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd still want Emery to stay. Because I think every single manager, if you've got a board that is incompetent and is unwilling to spend the money, I think every manager needs at least 3 years. Pep Guardiola was able to, after 2 windows or 1 season, to
win the title.
Win the title.
Yeah, after 1 season. But then, that's big bank though. You couldn't compete with the money Man City spending, so it's not even fair.
It's not just the money. It's the fact that Man City know who they want and they will go out and get them. And they won't. The board are competent and they work in tandem with the managers. I think with the likes of United, the likes of Arsenal, to a certain extent with the likes of Liverpool up until the last couple of years, and with the likes of Chelsea, the boards don't have a plan. And I feel like because of that, Emery definitely needs another couple of years to sort this shit out. But you say that, but I still think regardless of what players he has, it's up to the manager to instill grit and determination into a team. You don't have to be a world-class player to have grit and determination. Watford don't have world-class players. Burnley don't have world-class players, but they work hard.
But Emery doesn't play gritty football. I've never known him to play gritty football. At the end of the day, I mean, when he was at Paris, he wasn't gritty. When he was at Sevilla, it wasn't pretty. He wasn't gritty either. So that's just a whole different type of manager that you want in them. I mean,
you don't win 3 Europa Leagues in a row without having to dig deep.
Well, dig deep and being gritty is different.
I don't think so. You have to grind out wins sometimes. You can't be better than the opposition every single time.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You have to grind out wins.
I get that.
I thought when Emery came in, he would have been able to allow Arsenal to grind out 1-0 away wins.
I get that piece, but I just don't think he has a team the full team that he likes. That team doesn't have his touch on there. So I mean, you're not going to see the best of him until he has the squad that he likes. You see the best out of Pep Guardiola because he constantly is getting the teams that he likes at Barcelona, at Manchester City, and to a lesser degree at Bayern Munich. You're seeing the best of Klopp because over time we're starting to give him the team that works well with him. You saw that at Dortmund as well, a similar thing. for the substitute teacher, again, for you guys, I feel like you have some deadwood you need to get rid of as well and put in some players that he likes. We don't know what OGS likes. We don't know what Unai Emery likes. We don't know what Frank Lampard wants either because we haven't even seen Lampard get a transfer window.
Do they have it banned this January as well?
I heard a rumor that it might be lifted. I heard it's a rumor though, but the initial ruling was 2-window ban. So worst case scenario, he might have to wait till next summer to start buying some players. You know,
and no one really buys players in January.
Yeah, maybe you might get 1 or 2 because most people are cup tied to their Champions League.
To be fair, I say that the 2 best defenders in the league
when it's
were bought in January, Van Dijk and Laporte. So who says there's no fucking good players in the January transfer market, eh?
Right. So.
Well, that's what I said. I said it in the first fucking episode. David Luiz is not the guy to help transform your defense.
That wasn't the goal, AK. It's an $8 million investment for a guy to work with in the past and add some squad depth to your defense with you missing Rob Holt and whoever it was at centre back. That was a panic, desperate ban. It could work out for you. That's not really a major investment. That's not a That's not a $70 million Virgil van Dijk investment that you're bringing in to revolutionize your defense, or a $70 million Harry Maguire you're bringing in to change your defense.
You're not an Arsenal fan, so I mean, fair enough. I wasn't talking directly to you because you're.
No, I don't think that. I only know one Arsenal fan. I don't think he thought David Luiz was going to, stop 10, 20 goals from getting to Leno. I don't think that was his case. I think most of them are just desperate for some depth. And
you don't know the Arsenal fans that I know, but
did they think that he was going to change their defense? Did they really think that?
A lot of them were saying that. A lot of them, they didn't think David Luiz could help them win the title, but they thought with the signings that they made, Pepe, David Luiz, Tierney, and Ceballos, they thought that they could comfortably finish in the top 4.
But Tierney hasn't played yet.
Yeah, I mean, granted he hasn't played.
Nor Bellerin. Bellerin hasn't even played yet either.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just talking to you. I know that's not your point, but I'm just talking to you. I'm just chopping it up. Hasn't played yet. So
will Tierney and Bellerin help Arsenal? Will they have helped Arsenal not have conceded those 2 goals today?
Honestly, I don't know because I've never seen them play together. We have no evidence or data of them playing together or working in a system together to even make a judgment like that. We don't know.
I think Arsenal's still very suspect defensively. And previously, I always thought it would be between United and Arsenal for 4th place. I thought Leicester would come ahead of Chelsea. I think I had Chelsea in 7th. But I'm just not confident in Arsenal at all.
On a separate note, based on what you've seen over the last 5 games for all these teams, do you want to change your top 4 if you could?
I'm trying to remember my top 4. I think my top 4 was City, Liverpool, Spurs, United.
City, Liverpool, something like that. That sounds right for you.
No, I had City, Liverpool, Spurs, United. I had Arsenal in 5th, Leicester in 6th, and Chelsea in 7th.
So, would you want to change your top 4 at all, if based on what you've seen from all the teams the first 5 games, or you feel comfortable?
No, I'll stick with my prediction.
No,
if I was to change, I'd just swap Arsenal and United around. I'd have Arsenal in 4th, maybe United in 5th.
Gotcha.
But as of now, I think because I've seen I think 3 or 4 Arsenal games. I've seen a couple of. I've seen 2 or 3 Chelsea games, and I've seen all the United games. I think United's performances have been far superior to Arsenal and Chelsea's.
Say that one more time. I lost you.
I said essentially. I've seen a few Chelsea games, I've seen a few Arsenal games, and I've seen all the United games this season. I think United's performances have been far and away superior to Chelsea and Arsenal's. Because performances, not results.
No, okay, no, I got you. I'm just making sure I heard you.
Oh, you sounded skeptical there. Do you disagree?
I disagree.
Go on.
I think all three of you look equally like shit in 3 different ways. In 3 different ways. It's like you got a yellow turd, a red turd, and a green turd. That's what I see.
Right.
I mean, neither of you have done anything to really, convince me and say, holy crap, I was wrong about them.
Oh, yeah, no. What I mean
was 5 games here. It's 5 games.
I'm not saying that United have... that I'm convinced United will easily get top 4. I'm not saying that.
I know. You just compare yourself to the other two.
Today with Arsenal, they were the second best for the first half an hour. Yet somehow they found themselves 2-0 up. United and Chelsea aren't capable of doing that. United have to play well to score goals, whereas Arsenal can score goals just like that. But the problem with Arsenal is their defence, whereas United, I think, will need to play well to score goals, and if we don't, we'll need to rely on our defence. And I believe that our defence is better than Arsenal's, and our defence is better than Chelsea's. So that's why I think we won't easily get top 4, but I think that we can grind out results, just like we did yesterday against Leicester, who, let's be real, are a very good team. Everyone's saying Rodgers is better than Solskjaer. Everyone's saying Vardy's better than Rashford. Their whole midfield is undoubtedly better than ours, especially yesterday without Pogba. Chilwell's better than Ashley Young. A lot of their team would get into the United team. Yet we were able to grind out a result, and that's something Arsenal can't do. Yesterday, Chelsea won 5-2. Were they 3-0 up or 4-0 up at one stage?
4-0 up.
4-0 up, and they conceded 2 goals.
One being an own goal, because Tammy Abraham just was goal scoring for him. He just wanted to score in every net.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Chelsea are very susceptible at the back. I think it's United's defence that can get us top 4.
Think about it this way. This is a perfect example as why you guys are 3 equally different pieces of shit. Hear me out.
Chelsea have conceded 11 goals in 5 games.
Say that one more time.
Chelsea have conceded 11 goals in 5 games.
But how many have they scored?
11. They've got a goal.
How many points they got?
8.
How many points you got?
8.
How many points Arsenal got?
Points is all that matters. I know.
I know. You got 3 different pieces of equal shit right now. But you guys play Thursday, don't you? Europa League. I know you don't like that. You don't like that one. You got to play the Europa League, and then you got to go to West Ham to play them. That's not good.
Mate, Europa League's the best league in the world. I don't know what you're on about.
In some dimension, it is, I imagine.
No, the Europa League's more important than the World Cup.
Because United are playing it right now, right?
It's always been more important than the World Cup.
I tell you what.
In 2008, I'd rather have won the Europa League than Champions League.
AK, I'm going to issue a warning to you and the rest of the Manchester United fans out there.
Right.
There have been 5 games that have passed, right?
Yeah.
And whether y'all believe it or not, I have been incredibly nice when I talk about Manchester United. I have been as nice as possible. I promise you. Keep this up after game number 9, and I will rip y'all's team a new one. Y'all might even switch teams to Man City once I'm done with y'all.
Oh
I'm
God,
so serious.
you're actually one of the cringiest people I've ever met.
To be fair, AK, am I not being honest? Have I not been really nice to Manchester United compared to how you know me being to Manchester United?
To be fair, when you tear United a new arsehole, I know it's just so that you can get a reaction out of me. It's not your honest opinions.
No, sometimes it is my honest opinion. That's why I said game number 9, I'm tearing them a new asshole. Chelsea too, maybe not Man City. Arsenal is gonna get a new asshole as well from me. Everybody's getting one game number 9. Even Liverpool if they fuck off. Best believe nobody's safe.
Oh God, right. Jesus Christ, I don't even know. I don't even know how to respond to that. To be fair, with me personally, I feel like I've tried to be as fair as possible with my statements.
Until you
So
told me episode number 1 that Manchester United was the fittest team in the Premier League. Until you told me that.
I said we're one of the fittest in the Premier League. Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here. You're the fittest team.
I'm pretty sure. I said, mate. Did you see the end of the Arsenal game today? Like both teams looked as if they couldn't even move a muscle.
Yeah.
Like there was one point Arsenal counted in the Arsenal attacked in the 91st minute, and there were four Arsenal players in attack, and Watford counter-attacked. It took about 20 minutes for the Arsenal front four to get back in shape.
Jesus.
They were absolutely dead on their feet, and I think Solskjaer has put such huge emphasis on fitness over pre-season that I think with the youthfulness and energy in our team as well, like Andreas Pereira, he's not a great player. He's not even a good player. He's an average player.
He's not bad though. He's not bad.
Yeah, that fucker can run. Like that fucker can do a marathon after a 120-minute game.
So far, I don't have anything bad to say about Andreas per. I don't mind.
I just he's a good squad player, but he's not good enough, and that's United's downfall at the minute. I think out of an 11, we've probably got 7 or 8 players who I'd say I'm happy to be United's first 11 consistently. But I think United are still 3 or 4 players away from having a full 11 that I'm happy with.
I tell you what, you said that today because you haven't been to Stamford Bridge, Etihad, Tottenham, Emirates, or Anfield yet. And I guarantee you that's 15 points you're not going to get. So prepare your asshole for that day.
Right, so you think United will lose to every single of the top 6
at their home stadiums? I really believe that. Because Arsenal's like we said, it's night and day with them home and away, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know you're not coming to Anfield. We can call that a loss, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think y'all gonna get a result at Etihad either. By the time you get to Stamford Bridge, you're gonna see a different Chelsea team. Because I think you're gonna probably play them right when the window opens, or something like that, or is it towards the end of the season you play them?
Honestly, I haven't got a clue, mate.
But by the time you get to Stamford Bridge, you're gonna see a whole different Chelsea team. Who was the other? Spurs Stadium. You're not getting a result there. I'm sorry. I don't have faith in y'all against Spurs, unless David De Gea does something like some hero type stuff for y'all again. Y'all not getting a result there. Mm-hmm. Everywhere else, I can see y'all getting a result at.
See, I don't know. I think the way United set up, I think all our best performances have been when we've conceded possession and we're able to counter. and I think we'll win against Arsenal and Chelsea, and I think we could win against Spurs away from home. The games that United are going to drop points at is what we have dropped points at so far this season. It's going to be the home games against Burnley, or the home games against maybe, I don't know, fucking Newcastle or something like that. Those are the types of teams that United are going to drop points to. I mean, it's no coincidence that out of the 5 games, the 2 decent sides we've played, Chelsea and Leicester, we've got maximum points.
But be careful now. That was Chelsea's first official game under Frank Lampard.
Right.
Healthy.
All I'm saying is, last season when Solskjaer first came into the job and he went on this mad, insane run, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Everyone said, "Oh, it's the honeymoon period. He's not that good. When he gets the job permanently, he's going to be found out. He's going to be shit. He's going to get sacked by December." So, if the honeymoon period is really a thing, where's Lampard's honeymoon period?
Well, he didn't get one. He has the same amount of points as you right now. He has no transfer window. What are you talking about?
Solskjaer didn't have a transfer window.
He got one. He got one this summer.
No, the honeymoon period was last January, February, March.
But nobody's in love with. I mean, nobody outside Chelsea fans are worshipping Frank Lampard right now. Only Chelsea fans are. Just like only Man United fans are worshipping OGS.
Okay. In the first 3 months of Ollie's reign and in the first 3 months of Frank's reign, why isn't Frank getting the same results and the same performances as Ollie did?
Well, it's a different thing. Ollie took over a team that was being ruled by a disciplinarian, and your sensitive superstars over there, pounding and crying every day and weren't performing. Ollie came in and all he had to do was lift up the mood, right? Maurizio Sarri left Chelsea high and dry. They were planning to have Maurizio Sarri this season. It's a different scenario, AK. Completely different. Nobody has given Lampard a honeymoon period. I just told you, Chelsea fans, Man United fans, and probably Arsenal fans are really going to be mad at me after game 9. Did I not?
Right. We're going in circles here.
I know. I'm just letting you know. I don't know if anybody giving Lampard a honeymoon period.
All right. Fucking hell. Who are Liverpool playing next weekend?
We're going to Stamford Bridge, baby.
Chelsea. All right.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game too.
Yeah. What are your predictions for that?
Here's the thing. With Napoli sandwiched in between, I think they're going to prioritize the Napoli game a little bit more because we play them first round of the Champions League. Since City lost yesterday, we have a 5-point cushion for right now. I think it'll be safe to take a point next week Sunday and keep it moving.
No, I think it's the other way around, because even if you do lose against Napoli, there's still 5 other games to be able to qualify. Whereas I think if you do win against Chelsea, that will put even more pressure on Man City.
Not really, because what are Liverpool fans saying right now? Oh, they're going to win the title right now, right? After 5 games.
No, what I'm saying is, like, even if you lose to Napoli, hypothetically, you could still easily qualify. Whereas I think in the league, if you want to win the league, you need every point you can get.
Do you know who Man City is playing next week, Saturday, AK? Would you like to know?
Yeah, who are they playing?
They're at home against Watford right now. Do you think they're going to lose that game?
No, which is why I'm saying you need every point you can get in the league.
I get that, but we have a cushion now because they lost.
So you need to keep that gap of 5 points. If you draw,
It would be nice. It would be nice to do that, but I'm accepting the 4 points right now. The 3 against Napoli and the 1 on the road against Chelsea. You don't want to lose at Stamford Bridge against your rival. I mean, in general, when you're on the road. If
no,
it was a home game at Anfield, I would say yes, I need the 6 points. But an away game at Stamford Bridge, I would happily take a point because anything can
I
happen.
think it's the other way around. I think you should be happy taking a point to Napoli and then getting the 3 points at Chelsea.
Fam, I don't see us getting 3 points from Chelsea. We haven't been doing that consistently.
I think you can. I think you will beat Chelsea next.
Let me see what the trick is. Hold on. Before we let our viewers go. I'm curious if we're home or if we're away against Napoli.
You're away.
Well, exactly. So we need the away win. That's a priority. We need that away win against Napoli.
Even if you lose to Napoli, you can still easily qualify.
I know, but I don't because what happened? You remember what happened last year in the Champions League?
Last year you had PSG in your group as well. This year you have Genk and Salzburg.
I don't care who is in there. All right, we lost to Red Star Belgrade last year as well. We lost 3-0 to Red Star Belgrade, and then they came to Anfield and got a point. All right. Last year it took until that last game against Napoli, and we had to keep them from scoring. If Napoli scored 1 goal, we would not have made it that group stage. Get the group. Go ahead and qualify for your group stage now. Get the advantage while you can, so that later on you don't want to be worried about the Premier League table and trying to get out of your group stage. Get your 3 points now and put Napoli on the back foot.
Right. I think we've given the people enough today.
I know, right? Well, that's it, guys, for episode 5. Remember to follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll see it in the description below. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.